In the news tonight, an abundance of fish results in a dip in prices in some instances. Police on the hunt for a man considered to be armed and dangerous. Tributes flow at the passing of the most honourable Patrick Frost. And in sports, only one CPL playoff spot remains after the Falcons clinched their first ever berth.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Starbajan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you for tuning in. In our top story tonight, the cost of some species of fish is perhaps the lowest it has been in a while at the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex. However, it depends on which vendor you choose. Anesta Henry tells us more.
At least two vendors who have an unusual amount of fish at this time of the year are selling them as low as $8 per pound. But they are facing a problem where they have limited buyers, despite the affordable prices. Vendor Renewable says those vendors who have that quantity of fresh fish need consumers to come and buy. She says some of the fish are cheaper than chicken.
So right now, boats coming in. We all can buy all the fish. We're just having them sitting them in our boxes. So we need the public to come. We get like billfish, a lot of billfish, soft billfish at the moment selling $8 a pound. You're getting tuna, $9 a pound. You're getting a lot of amberfish going at $5 a pound, and the snappers, red snappers you could see, that is $12 a pound. You have pot fish, you got kingfish, you got so much variety of fish. We need the public to come and support the market.
Ms. Noble says for the past 2 to 3 weeks, certain species of fish have been caught in abundance.
The hotels are closed and a lot of restaurants are closed down. So I need the general public to come out because we have a lot of fish in the market.
Another vendor who does not want his name to be mentioned says he too has containers of fish to get off his hands. Boat owner Mark Harewood says while there are a few fishing boats docked at the complex waiting to offload, some hawkers can't get their fish sold as fast as they want to.
Yet still, the hawkers can't get the fish sold. That's the basic. Billfish, you got kingfish, you got amberfish.
Snappers.
Well, the snapper boats bring in snappers as well. But the prices are good, but the sales are low. Let people come out and try and come and buy some fish. That's what we want in the market right now.
However, there are some fish vendors who are saying they are not aware of a bounty of any species of fish at this time, and they continue to sell their fish at normal rates. But one thing is for sure, for the 2 hours the CBC team was at the market, more birds were spotted than customers. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Well, Barbadians have been expressing shock over a wave of social media videos which have gone viral, showing thousands of soldier crabs descending on Maycocks in St. Lucie. A senior scientist is saying there is nothing abnormal about the latest development. Again, Anesta Henry has that story.
Senior scientist at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Kirk Douglas, says thousands of soldier crabs seen on the move across some of the island's beaches are not as abnormal as some people think. In fact, according to the scientist, it happens quite often and is nothing to worry about. He explains that the sighting of the species, also known as hermit crabs, has much to do with their biological rhythm being linked to the moon cycle, which influences the tides.
Not every animal will be influenced equally. You can appreciate that an animal that's close to the sea or close to the shoreline might not be as negatively impacted by that as animals that is close to our population of animals that is higher up, closer inland, because obviously the tide would not reach as far inland. Probably be more influenced by the tide influence than the moonlight itself.
Hermit crabs return to land after going to sea to reproduce and release their eggs. They also need access to land to find new shells for their growing bodies as they outgrow their existing shells by molting their exoskeletons and must constantly find larger suitable shells.
They have fertilized eggs, and now they have to release those fertilized eggs into the ocean. But they will do it based on either moonlight conditions or based on the tide. So whether it's high tide, low tide, or not even just high tide, low tide, but the strength of the tide. So at the peak highest tide is when they will probably release them. And different animals are influenced by different cues. So some animals may be guided by the moonlight itself, but some other animals may not be guided by moonlight at all and only guided by the tidal influence.
And while there are some suggestions that the crabs were on Backsrock Beach, lifeguard Michael Jilts says that this information is wrong. But like many others, Jilts says he too saw the viral videos.
Those crabs also is eat the African snails. So when you see all of those crabs in the shells, it means that those crabs also protect the environment from the snails. But really and truly, they're not harmful, and there are more than 5,000 cuts. When I saw that, I was so surprised. So it's nothing to get alarmed about.
Soldier crabs usually return to land to mate during the end of the summer and beginning of fall, usually in the late afternoon. After mating, the females carry their fertilized eggs for about a month, and when she is ready to lay her eggs, she returns to the ocean. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
The strong occupancy bookings are expected for the 2025-2026 winter season. That's according to Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell, who is currently leading a delegation at Sea Trade Europe in Hamburg, Germany. Additionally, the minister says the performance of the Bridgetown port has been nothing short of spectacular. The port won a second-place award at Sea Trade Europe 2025.
As a result of this year's engagement, the cruise executives informed us that last season was a very strong performance for them, and that going into this forthcoming winter season, we will realize increased business. We expect that the number of cruise calls will increase to 400 compared to just over 389 last year. And combined with that, we expect that we will see arrivals from cruise passengers numbering some 800,000, over 800,000 passengers.
New Minister of Housing, Lands and Maintenance Chris Gibbs says there's a lot of work to be done, and he will start with unraveling the mystery of the list. Minister Gibbs says he is ready to get along with the country's business and finding housing solutions for the Barbadian public. He was speaking as he arrived at his Country Road St. Michael office this afternoon. Minister Gibbs has thanked Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley for reposing her confidence in him to represent the nation in the post. The new minister took over when former Minister Dwight Sutherland tendered his resignation last week.
In trying to get people into housing, we also want to unwrap the mystery of the list. People are saying that the list is years and everything. So what my mission is working with one of the key departments in here, which is responsible for that, in terms of getting them to make people more aware of where they are, right? And also getting people in those houses that are available. So obviously home is a big part of that, right? We're gonna see some houses come on stream later this year. So I'm looking forward to being part of that process.
Barbados is mourning the loss of one of its most respected educators and trade union leaders. The Most Honourable Patrick Frost passed away Wednesday evening at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after a brief illness. Deanza Roberts looks at the legacy of the man who helped shape classrooms and the labour movement for decades.
The Most Honourable Patrick Frost dedicated his life to education and labour rights, influencing generations of Barbadians. He taught and inspired at the Lodge School and championed education reform across the island. For 25 years, he served as General Secretary of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union and became the first General Secretary of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Association of Barbados, C2SAB. General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Tony Moore, says she mourns a man that was a light to the trade union world.
Today, the world of labor feels empty. The workers' movement in Barbados mourns a giant of a man. It feels as if a light has gone out. And yet, in so many ways, the most honourable Patrick Frost remains the light that still directs many of us. For me, this is profoundly personal. I will forever be humbled because I know, without question, that I am in the position I am today because of Patrick.
General Secretary of C2SAB, Dennis DePisa, says Frost's passing is a loss for the movement.
C2SAB is deeply saddened at the loss of Brother Frost, who has been a stalwart for the Barbados Labor movement. Brother Frost has given distinguished service to the Barbados Labor movement, serving as the long-standing General Secretary of the Barbados Secretary Union and the first General Secretary of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Association of Barbados. At the time of his passing, he was the late Vice President of C2SAB. Brother Frost has left an enduring legacy.
Trade unionist Cedric Morris says while the most honourable Patrick Frost was not loud with his contribution to the movement, his work was impactful.
He will be missed by this dear country of ours, not only because of his contribution on the national scene from Labour's point of view, but the tremendous intellect that he possessed and the generosity with which he shared that.
In 2020, his lifelong contribution was recognized with the nation's highest title, the Most Honourable.
There's a lot of satisfaction in voluntary service, whether it is in the service clubs like Rotary or Lions or Optimists or what have you. I think, therefore, that if one is a true patriot, then one should use one's time in helping other people in whatever endeavour one has some skill and efficiency in, and where you feel you can make your best contribution and derive satisfaction from that.
The Most Honourable Patrick Frost had been hospitalised before his passing. Details of his illness have not been disclosed. His influence in the classroom and at the bargaining table will continue to shape Barbados for years to come. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Prime Minister Mia Motley has hailed the Most Honourable Patrick Frost as a towering figure in education and labour relations. In a statement, the Prime Minister remembered Frost as a robust yet respectful advocate for teachers and workers whose leadership strengthened Barbados' social partnership and national stability. She highlighted his lifelong connection to the Lodge School, his 25 years at the helm of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, and his pivotal role in forming the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations. Prime Minister Motley says the nation is forever indebted to his service, adding that even the prestigious Order of Freedom of Barbados, which he received in 2020, cannot measure his contribution. The Prime Minister offered condolences to his wife Margot, their sons and grandchildren, and the entire Lodge School family, saying, "May his soul rest in peace and rise in glory." Meantime, the Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, Colin Jordan, also joined the many voices paying tribute to the Most Honourable Patrick Frost. In a statement, he said the Most Honourable Patrick Frost was there when the country faced one of its most challenging periods in the early 1990s during the labour cuts. Minister Jordan says the Labour stalwart was there when the country needed him, and steady heads and hands to save the people and the Barbadian way of life. Mr. Frost joined with Sir Roy Trotman and others to form the Coalition of Trade Unions and Staff Associations, now the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations, and was its first General Secretary. They worked extremely hard, joining with government and the private sector to steer the ship of state into calmer waters. Minister Jordan adds Barbados has lost a distinguished son of the soil, leader, advocate for workers, and proponent of decent work. And he has pledged that the ministry he leads will build on Mr. Frost's legacy as they work to build harmonious industrial relations, cement the connection between protection and production, and ensure that Barbados is the best place to work, give back, and retire. And principal of the Lodge School, Stephen Jackman, also paid tribute. He says this is a void that no one can fill, as he spoke of a man who was first his teacher and later his colleague. Mr. Jackman says the Most Honourable Patrick Frost served with distinction.
Served as boarding master, housemaster, master in charge of cricket, and master in charge of tennis at various times. He is a former student of the school who typified the motto, "They can because they think they can." His commitment to education led him to the trade union movement, where he represented teachers with distinction in the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union. He also was a founding member of C2SAB and the gatekeeper of institutional knowledge of both C2SAB and the BSTU. He will be sorely missed, and we at the Law School wish to extend sincere condolences to his sons, Martin and Bernard, his wife, and his family.
The Barbados Police Service is seeking the public's assistance in locating 32-year-old Ramon Jamar da Costa Jordan, alias Gas. He is wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. Jordan's, whose last known address is Wiltshire Avenue, Bayfield, St. Philip, is 6 feet 2 inches in height, brown complexion, and is slim build with a long dreadlocked hairstyle. On his left arm, he has a tattoo with an image of a wall with his alias Gas on the top. A separate tattoo on the same arm has the words honor, YOLO, and loyalty in a strategic pattern. Jordan is advised that he can present himself to the Criminal Investigations Department South at Oistins Police Station, accompanied by an attorney at law of his choice. Any person who may know the whereabouts of Ramon Jamar da Costa Jordan is asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Department South at telephone numbers 418-2608 or 418-2612, Police Emergency at 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477 or the nearest police station. Jordan is considered armed and dangerous and should be approached with caution. Now, members of the public are also reminded that it is a serious offense to harbor or assist wanted persons, and anyone caught committing this offense can be prosecuted. And the police are also seeking the public's assistance in locating a missing girl, 16-year-old Ciara Tiana Cadogan of number 38 Sundial Circle, Manderley Gardens in St. Philip. She was last seen on September 10th. Cadogan is about 5 feet 5 inches in height, slim build, light brown complexion, and has square shoulders. She has an oval face, brown eyes, a flat chin, a long neck, thick lips, and both ears are pierced twice. Her hair is black and is worn in a low-cut pixie style. She walks with an erect appearance and is soft-spoken with a pleasant manner. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Ciara Tiana Cadogan is asked to contact the District C Police Station at 416-8200 or 416-8201. They can also contact Police Emergency at 211 or Crime Stoppers or any police station. Well, Chairman of the Health and Wellness Commission in the Anglican Diocese of Barbados, Dr. Adrian Lord, says people are receiving a great amount of misinformation in relation to their health. And he says it is imperative that health officials ensure the right information is disseminated. The theme for this year's Caribbean Wellness Day is Engage, Empower and Elevate, and will be marked by a hike beginning at Gun Hill in St. George at 6 a.m. on Saturday. All are invited to join as the group explores nature during the season of creation. Dr. Lord was speaking as a guest on Morning Barbados.
People are still not taking it as seriously as they should. And back in 2007, the governments of the Caribbean, they declared that the second Saturday in September is Caribbean Wellness Day. And it so happens that it falls in the season of creation. And it so happens that I am chair of the Wellness Commission. And Amber, where we look at various things, where we're going to have an activity on Saturday to get people into the right mood and get them focused and keep them engaged.
Well, not having done a season since the COVID-19 pandemic, Mahalia's Corner has returned. The series kicked off on Sunday night with shows slated to be held throughout this month. Anesta Henry was at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center for the first show-themed date night.
Mahalia's Corner held its first show last Sunday night since its 10th anniversary edition in 2019, and receptive fans were loving it. High marks would be a fitting way to grade the show. The 2 Mile Hill Band created musical harmony, a harmony which matched the dynamic voice of singer Mahalia, her backup singers, and especially invited guests. The stage lighting and set helped to create that perfect mood and atmosphere, just right for the show's theme, date night. The choice of songs for the nights were ideal for a relaxing date night out with a significant other or friends. Mahalia got the night started with her smooth rendition of American soul and R&B singer Bill Withers' popular hit Lovely Day. Then she got members of the audience deeper in their feelings with Booed Up. The audience was singing along as Mahalia professed her love for her little island and how she will hold it in her heart forever, with her original Big Love. And her version of Ain't Nobody was groovy and done just right. Singer-songwriter Kashida Dottin also showcased her vocal abilities on the corner. She soothed the audience with her soulful originals Caught Up and Into You, recorded and released in February. And the soca artist Shaquille, known for running and jumping on stage, demonstrated his ability to slow down his pace just a little bit. The audience was entertained by Shaquille's smooth rendition of his song Butter, followed by Darlin, Collateral, and Asphalt. Artist Ria Lane joined him on stage to perform their collaboration, My Person. Mahalia's Corner fans enjoyed the positive energy that radiated from the stage and are happy to see the return of the show.
It's my first time being back at Mahalia's Corner for quite some time. It's a very cool, relaxed vibe, good vocals from both Mahalia and her guest artists, and I think it complements what the theme is for the night, which is date night.
You could always expect a vibe at Mahalia's Corner, the open mic, the guest artist. It was Kashida and Shaquille, and I was excited to see them both because I know vocals are going to be top 10, the music is going to be top 10, so I enjoyed every bit of the show tonight. I'm so excited for what the rest of the season offers.
Mahalia is also looking forward to a good season and about giving homegrown talent the opportunity to shine.
That also showed a different side of 2 Mile Hill, a different side of me, and it gives us the opportunity to show the Bajan talent that we have here, like endless talent, and especially to come back and show people that we think we're familiar with, but then you see them in a different light. So it's just really important to me. So I feel like we will always strive for that, strive to create a space for artists to be able to come and express themselves and show what we got to offer.
As usual, members of the audience got to take to the stage and showcase their vocal talents during the open mic session of the show. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Well, there are no more Barbadian surfers left at the ISA World Surf Games in El Salvador. The final competitor in Joshua Burke was eliminated this evening. Burke finished fourth in a heat of 12 of repechage 4 after scoring a total of 6.03, with his two best waves being a 3.83 and a 2.20. Earlier, Rafi Goodin was eliminated as he was third in heat 4 of repechage 3 with an overall score of 7.0. Gooding got 3.83 on his first wave and 3.17 on his second. Barbados' number 1 tennis player Darian King will be the first on court as Team Barbados takes on Lebanon starting tomorrow in a Davis Cup World Group 2 first round tie in Egypt. The tie is being played on clay at the Palm Hills Sports Club, and King will face Benjamin Hassan in match 1 before Kaipo Marshall challenges Hadi Habib in the second singles fixture. The teams will then turn their attention to the doubles component on Saturday as King and Hayden Lewis take on Fadi Biban and Hassan Ibrahim. The reverse singles will follow if necessary.
The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
A groundswell of jobs is coming in the renewable energy sector in Barbados. The revelation from Minister of Energy and Business, Senator Lisa Cummins, who says the Ministry of Energy and Business is actively building capacity to secure the energy future of Barbados.
We expect that by 2035, our energy transition and investment plan maps it, that there will be 1,500 new jobs in the energy sector that will be created. New jobs in new disciplines, new employment opportunities, and with those new employment opportunities, you will become employers yourself. We want to encourage the business community as well. Come on and get involved.
The Energy Minister also challenged the business community to engage in a scholarship program designed to support renewable energy development. She urged businesses to match the ministry's investment and contribute to the sector's growth.
Every business, every financial institution that is investing in the renewable energy sector, this is a call to you. Match our Energy Development Scholarship Program, make an investment in that, create new opportunities so that you then create new employment opportunities, new business opportunities, and invest in Barbados' future.
From hotelier to restaurateur. That's how former chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Renee Coppin, described her new position as managing director of the soon-to-be-open Bide Mill The Experience. She tells the Business Report the new restaurant will be 100% Barbadian menu initiative.
Official opening is in November, and that's going to be a Tuesday to Sunday opening, so every day Tuesday to Sunday. But right now we're open on weekends, as I said, Saturdays for brunch and Sundays for lunch. And both days you can expect fantastic Barbadian food.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Back with the second half in sports now. Barbados and West Indies all-rounder Jason Holder is among 101 players set to tee off for the 41st edition of the Barbados Golf Open tomorrow. Players from Antigua, Cayman Islands, Grenada, Guyana, Suriname, St. Vincent, St. Kitts and Nevis and Trinidad and Tobago will join top players from Barbados at the Barbados Golf Club, vying for the top honors over 3 days of competition. President of the Barbados Golf Association, David Phillips, says Simon Proverbs will be defending the men's title.
So you must expect some stiff competition this year from Jason Holder, a former professional footballer, Nick Blackman, and also coming up at Antigua would be Leon George, Jonathan Pigott. So also provide some stiff competition in that group as well.
Meanwhile, Mariella Young will defend the women's crown.
In the female division, Mariella should expect some competition from Tori De Freitas Baptiste out of Trinidad and Victoria Sinaf. In addition, we have the Guyana Open champion, so we would be interested to see what level of competition she provides for Mariella as well.
Now, for the first time, the senior and super senior divisions will be part of the Barbados Senior Games as we continue to celebrate the Month of the Elderly. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey, is set to get the day rolling as he tees off at 7:28 a.m. Maria Cumberbatch and Christopher Griffith were among the winners in the road tennis finals of the Barbados Senior Games, played recently at the Barbados Community College. Cumberbatch defeated Camille Ashby in the women's 40 to 45 age category, while Griffith beat Winslow Burkitt in the men's 61 and over. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
Women's 40 to 45 final, Camille Ashby closer to your screen up against Maria Cumberbatch in the best of 2 sets encounter. Ashby benefiting early from an unforced error, Cumberbatch hitting this one out of bounds. But Cumberbatch quickly found her groove. Decent rally before the injection is whipped out. Ashby with no answer. Ashby now forced to show her skill and ability, but on this occasion, hits it long. Cumberbatch took the first set 21-13. This was a very exciting rally between the pair, but it ended when Ashby found the net. To the second set, now players switching sides, but Cumberbatch led 16-9, make it 17-9. Ashby unable to return this passing shot. Cumberbatch totally dominated to set up match point here. Ashby just begging to be out of her misery. But not before this. Ashby perhaps a little bit too late though, but showed good aggression. The match was over shortly after. 21-13, 21-11 the score. Maria Cumberbatch the winner. Second match, 61 and over men's final. A clash between Christopher Griffith back in the camera and Winslow Burkitt. Early days in the contest, Burkitt putting a little too much pace on this return. Griffith was in stunning form, and this was the evidence. He set up Burkitt well for the injection, deadly. But Burkitt responded, putting the game to Griffith, but forcing him to play this one long. And if you thought the previous point was good, well, this next highlight was even better. Griffith showing his ability, now treading it like a needle. Impressive as he went on to win 21-10, 22-20. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, that's news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.